don't know how long I'm gonna live. I don't know. Nobody knows, I guess. I think human life expectancy is pretty good. We get a good run, you know? Some people die early, you know? If I die now, people will be like, oh, that's too bad. If I die 5 years from now, they'll be like, well, all right. Like, it's not even, it's... Like, as soon as you're 50, you're a candidate. You know there's no candlelight vigils for 50-year-old guys that die. And you start pushing in the area. Yeah, you know, some people get to be like 80s, 90s. You know, there are people that get to like 114, and then they're in the news, and it's always some old guy. I met Napoleon. No, you didn't. You liar. You oldest liar in the world. But 45, you know, you're not old yet, but you start having moments where you kind of start getting what old is. Especially if you didn't take care of yourself, you know? I have moments where I'm like, wow, this seems early for this. Like, this is something that happens to me a lot. I'll be sitting watching TV or doing nothing, and all of a sudden I'll realize, I need to wipe my ass right now. I mean, nothing happened, but I really gotta wipe my ass right now. Right now. Gotta make trips to the bathroom just to wipe my ass. How did this happen already? I'm 45. Already my asshole's just like, ugh. My asshole's like the waistband on old pajama bottoms. Just kind of loose and ineffectual. My asshole's like a bag of leaves that nobody tied up. It's just sitting on the lawn, full and open. Puking leaves under the grass with every wisp of wind. Some kid kicks it over on his way home from a tough day at middle school. Rats. It's a pretty accurate description of my asshole. Here's another thing about my age right now. It fights gravity every day. Just the two of them, it's really... The dog's got a cloudy eye, and she's got a cloudy eye, and they just stand there looking at the street in 2 dimensions together, and she's always wearing like this sweater dress. I guess it was a sweater when she was like 5'10", but now it's just like this sweater, and her legs are a nightmare. They're just white with green streaks and bones sticking out, and her legs are awful. I saw a guy with no legs wheeling by, and he was like, ugh, no, thank you. I do not want those. I'd rather just have air down here like I have than to look down at that shit. I see these two all the time. And I always look at them and I always think, God, I hope she dies first. I do! I hope she dies first for her sake. Because I don't want her to lose the dog. I don't think she'll be able to handle it. If the old lady dies first, I'm not worried about the dog. Because the dog doesn't even know about the old lady. This dog is aware of 3 inches around his head. He's living in 2-second increments. The second he's in and the one he just left is all he knows about. But if he dies, this lady, she's gonna be destroyed because this dog is all she has. And I know he's all she has because she has him. If she had one person in her life, she would not keep this piece of shit little dog. Even if just some young woman in her building one morning were to say, "Good morning, Gladys," she'd be like, "Oh, good," and just flush him down the toilet. Just, dog just keeps bumping on the drain. She gives up. ends up just shitting on her dog for the rest of her life. You ever flush a pet down the toilet?
I'm just saying, I think it's probably accurate to say that out of any random group of 2,500 people, not all of you are gonna make it to Christmas. Unfortunately, there's gonna be at least one of you here tonight is going to ruin your family's Christmas by dying a shitty death. And I don't know who it is, I'm sorry. I don't know, your death is whatever. Some people, they want you to do things when they die with their, like, I want you to take my ashes and sprinkle. Fuck you, I'm not doing none of that shit. You're dead, I'm not gonna run errands for you after you're dead. You don't matter anymore. Some people try to do something, noble with their bodies. They try to have their bodies have some use after they're dead, which I think is a good thought. You're only borrowing your body. You're only borrowing everything. If your body's worth anything when you're done with it, you should pass it on. That's something I really believe. I mean, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to. Ew, it's mine. I have a lot of beliefs, and I live by none of them. That's just the way I am. They're just my beliefs. I just like believing them. I like that part. They're my little believies. They make me feel good about who I am. But if they get in the way of a thing I want, or I want to jack off or something, I fucking do that. But some people take their body. My grandmother, she, just for the layman, my grandmother, she gave her body to a medical school. So for it to just be examined and dissected, which is a good thought for that, but they're her survivors, or her family. That was a person. That was my grandmother. She used to wear glasses and say things. And now she's just shaved head on a metal table with a hungover medical student trying to dig out her pancreas, and he gets an F. Imagine being the body where the kid got an F on you. The teacher's like, no, you idiot. And he writes F on her tit with a Sharpie and just throws her down a chute on a pile of F body. So, I don't care about her. Shut up, idiot. Just shut your fucking mouth. Did you hear me before? Okay, so what am I gonna do with my body? I'm gonna die, and I gotta tell people what to do with my remains. And I have an idea for something to do with my body, or for other people to do with it, that will do good in the world. And it doesn't exist yet as like an institution, but I'm gonna create it, starting with my body. And what it is, it's a place where you can go and be with a dead body, and you just do whatever you want. And the point of this is that there are people out there who have sexual compulsions and they can't control them. And so they go and they bother alive people. And this, you get it out of your system. This is the deal. You go in the room, there's nobody else with you, you got 90 minutes, you just do whatever you want. Whatever it is. Shit in my mouth, you want to stick my toe in your pussy, piss on my face, whatever is the thing you got to do. Jack off with the cartilage of my ear, whatever is your heart's desire. I want to be the Willy Wonka for perverts. You can come on my back and pretend that I'm your father. I am dead, I don't mind. All the buildings and the clothes, they go up to a 5-year-old and they're like, oh, you're going to hell. Oh, yeah. You're going right to hell. And you're 5, and you're like, what did I do? And the church is like, you know what you did, you piece of shit. And you're going to full hell, too. There's no kids' hell, you understand? You're going right to the show. If you're 5 years old, you steal a crayon from your sister, and then you lie about it, you get hit by a truck, you're roommates with Hitler. There's no difference. There's no difference. They take you in a room, and they're pouring hot lead into Hitler's asshole. He's like, ah! No! And then you walk in there like, all right, step up, it's your turn. Hitler's like, oh, good luck, little fella. Poor Hitler, man. I mean, at this point, he's been down there for 75 years. He's probably nice now. Hitler's probably nice to newcomers in hell, you know. Hi, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah, okay. I was so scared of hell when I was a kid. I remember when I found out that gay people go to hell, according to the church, and I got scared. Because I'm not gay, but what if God thinks I'm gay? What if I come off a little queer to the Lord? What if he happens to glance at me when I hit my toe and I'm like, ow? He's like, huh, I know where you're going, you faggot. I mean, that's their thing. I don't believe that. God doesn't hate you because you're gay. God made you gay because he hates you. No. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. There's no God. But you know who I feel sorry for? Who I really feel sorry for is a gay man's sperm. Just think about that. That's a tough destiny.
Flowers in a fountain with little marble boys pissing. I don't know. What is it with fountains? Like, all fountain sculptors are pedophiles, basically. You can't get a fountain made without... Can you make me a fountain? Yes, I'll get started right away. Oh, yes! Yes! It's finished! And it's just little boys pissing on the face of a Greek god that looks like him a lot. It's piss on me forever! Anyway, there's one of those in the courtyard of my building. And my first week in the building about a year ago, I went down to the courtyard for the first time. And I didn't look too good, you know? It was a Sunday morning. That's my least presentable hour. There's a lot of, you know, just stains, just like, you know, food and me and whatever. And so I'm sitting there. So, shut up. Oh. Anyway, but so there I was. I'm sitting on the stone bench of this courtyard and feeling a little out of place. You know, there's these fancy doormen and stuff. And then there's this guy looking at me. I notice he's looking at me from across the courtyard. And he's all spiffy looking. He's got brown shoes and he's looking at me like, I could tell he was thinking I don't live in the building. He thinks I just wandered in off the street and sat in the courtyard. And I could tell he's thinking of coming over and dealing with me on his own. And I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, please do that. Yes, please, come on. And I'm trying to look even more gross. And I'm like pulling up my shirt. And then I see him go, oh, no, that's not gonna do at all. And he comes over to me. And I'm like, I'm so excited to have this thing. The confrontation where I'm not wrong at all. And he thinks I am. So he comes over, says, excuse me, do you live in this building? And I said, no. Because why not start there? I said, no. He goes, well, then what are you doing here? And I said, I just need to rest. I'm having a hard time. He says, this is private property. And I said, well, I don't really believe in that. You know, just the worst things I could say from his point of view is basically all the things I was saying. And he goes, well, if you don't leave, I'm gonna talk to the doorman. I was like, can I just stay like 5 more hours? So he's, no, and he goes over to the doorman, and I see him talking about me to the doorman like this. And then I see the doorman going, oh no, that guy lives here. That's okay. And the look on his face, it was just so, it was this beautiful cocktail of anger and confusion. It's like I had invented a new way to hurt somebody's feelings. That's how excited I was. I should leave the nation. Felt like a good idea. Would have left the planet if they had another one of those, but I went to France. I had a great time. I fell in love. I met a woman. I fell in love in France, and we've been together since then. It's been nice. Yeah, okay. It's nice having a girlfriend from another country because you learn a lot about that country. I learned a lot about France from being with her. I never knew these things about, like, one time she was sick, and I was taking care of her, so I gave her, she had a fever. I gave her a thermometer, and she put it in her asshole. Never seen that before. Turns out the whole country, all of France, puts thermometers in their assholes. And they don't put their eggs in the fridge. They have no respect for temperature in either direction. I was like, why are you putting it in your asshole? She said, you don't do this? You don't put here in America? I said, no, we don't put a glass thermometer filled with mercury in our anuses. You fucking savage. Well, we do it to babies and dogs because they can't talk. Every American baby's first words is, get that fucking thing out of my asshole. You ever take your dog's temperature? You have to hold your dog's ass still, and then you slip it in there, and your dog looks at you like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to me? And you're like, I could never explain it to you. But I need to hold it here for 60 seconds. Dogs are so dumb, it's fucking tragic. It's sad how dumb they are. They're in our lives and they know nothing about what's happening. You ever been having like a dramatic moment in your family, like you're in the living room telling the kids that grandma died and everybody's crying and the dog's sitting there like... I know you. They're so stupid. Incredibly stupid animals. They don't even know their own lives. They can't even handle their own lives mentally. You ever throw a ball for your dog and your dog gets the ball and brings it, and then you throw the ball again, the dog brings it, and then one of the times you throw the ball, the dog looks at you like, I didn't see what happened. I'm sorry, I don't know anything now. Please help. So you point at the ball. There it is. It's right there. It's right there. And the dog just looks at your finger. Because there's just no way he's going to get this concept that there's an invisible line that he can follow with his imagination. I have a great dog. I got a dog last year. She's a great dog. I did not adopt her, I'll be honest with you. I bought her with money. That's the truth. People always ask me when I walk my dog in New York, that's a beautiful dog, is she a rescue? I'm like, no, she's very expensive, please don't touch her.
I did rescue a dog last year, and it bit everyone in my life. So I unrescued it, and I bought a dog that works. In New York, everybody rescues their dogs like this. I rescued this dog. I rescued her. She has no eyes. And she's dead. Data. And I did learn something. I learned this because I weigh myself every night before I go to bed. And then I also weigh myself in the morning when I get up. And here's what I learned. I weigh 2 pounds less every morning than when I went to bed. And I found out why. It's because I shit in my bed every night. I do. I take a full 2-pound dump in bed. And then I turn out the lights and I go to sleep. Because I don't want to sleep alone. Your needs change when you get older. At my age, a big pile of shit's as good as anybody.